Yes, my people, welcome to another one of my videos. So I was watching the Senate week before last Friday, and they were discussing the government withdrawing $11 billion from the NHT every year for the next 5 or so years, right? And I must admit that 10 years ago, I was against that happening, right? But as someone who is building, I definitely understand what the government said when they say that them withdrawing $11 billion won't affect the benefits of NHT contributions. I understand that because anyone who is currently building right now in Jamaica, they can agree that it is very difficult to find a mason, electrician, or a plumber. And right here, I'm not even mentioning a good mason, you know. I'm not mentioning a good tradesperson here, right? It is difficult to find any tradesperson right now to do the work, right? So can you imagine how difficult it would be to find a good one? So at the end of the day, right, what sense does it make for the government to have that money sitting down at the NHT when they need the money to help pay down debt, and they also need that money to help with the Melissa repairs, right? So there are some persons who are saying that the government could use that money and give it to people, give more money to people, especially poor people who cannot benefit from the NHT right now, right? Because they're not earning enough money. At the end of the day, it comes down to the same thing. Anybody who borrow money from the NHT, they know that the NHT does not give you all the money at once. The NHT gives you the money in phases, right? So when you're borrowing money from the NHT, they give you a first lump sum, and that first lump sum is used to start the work that you're doing, right? And after you start the work and someone from the NHT, the project manager, comes in, and the inspector from the parish council comes in and inspect and approve the work, then you will get another tranche of the money. But if you cannot find someone to do the work, right, to do that starting phase of the job, then the rest of that money will still be sitting down at the NHT, right? And also, some people may say that, well, they can build the house themselves. Well, I do agree that there are a small amount of persons who can actually do that themselves, but not a lot of persons. And if the thing that you're building, also if you're building, right, if the structure that you're putting up, if you are not a good builder, that it won't it won't get passed by the NHT or the parish council. So that money will still be sitting down at the NHT, right? So this thing about attacking the government over withdrawing the $11 billion from the NHT, I personally no longer have an issue with it. I no longer have an issue with it, because without that money, then all of us will suffer more, because we would have a difficulty reducing the debt, and that $11 billion that the government is taking from NHT, the government would have to borrow that money from elsewhere. Right? The money that the government is taking from NHT they're not borrowing the money. So that is not adding to the country's debt. Right? It is helping to reduce the country's debt. Right? So let me before I end, let me put it this way and ask you a question. I would like you guys to answer me in the comments if you agree or not. If you are building a house, right, and you have $12 million to build the house, but to build the house costs $10 million, right? So you have an extra $2 million, because you're saying that, you may add on an extra room to the house when you finish building the house. So you may use that extra $2 million to add on an extra room or something, right? But at the same time, you also have a car loan, and the bank is pressuring you to make a payment on that car loan, right? And if you don't make a payment on that car loan, then the bank is going to take away your car. The question I'm going to ask you is this: would you keep that $2 million? Would you still put it aside for the house? Or will you take some money from that $2 million to make a payment on the car, right? Please give me your answer in the comments. I know that for myself, I would definitely take a portion of that $2 million and make a down payment on the car. And that is exactly what the government is currently doing with the money from NHT. Thank you for watching my video again. Please like and subscribe and share, because here is where you get the facts. Here is where you can get proper understanding of today's topic. Thank you.